Hello everyone. Sorry for being a couple days late on this month's Kickstarter update, but I wanted to make sure I had everything in place, and I was kind of feeling sick the last couple of days, so sorry about that, but we'll have a nice little video devlog this week where I can show you guys a few of the things we've been working on with the user interface. So a lot of this is going to be very placeholder, but I just really wanted to give you guys an idea of where we're at right now, and some of the new features we're adding, and a few things that you haven't seen at all before. So if we bring up our data pad, you'll see that it now automatically zooms in right when you bring up the data pad, as long as you're standing still. So this is kind of a compromise where we wanted the data pad to feel diegetic, which is just it just means that it exists in the game world as an object. But we still wanted it to be, a very usable, user-friendly interface that is very visible. So when you're not moving, it's going to take up the full screen automatically, so you can kind of check out everything in detail. Now, some of these things on here, like greenhouse and weather, like these are not finished yet, but I'll show you a few of the things that we do have. So first of all, let's check out some of the things that were existed in our previous user interface. So for example, if we go into the photo screen, so you'll see we have basically all the same things that were here before, although we have improved the rendering of the photos so that they feel they're more color accurate, and you can still scroll through. I guess we don't have very many here. Let's take another couple of photos. There's one, there's two, there's three. So if we bring our data pad back up, we'll see those in order now, so we can go back through those. So they're more color accurate to what you see on your own screen when you take the photos, and I think they look really great. So we will be adding some features here. These top three buttons will allow you to favorite photos, and you can also change the folders that your photos are saved in, and then you can even edit photos, so you could delete them or change the name of them for future reference. So we're still working on that, but I think the basics are here, copied over from our old user interface with a few minor improvements. And then if we go back to our home screen, you can see we've still got the audio system in here, where we can play audio files, and you can still
on my way to check weather station 8.
Fast forward and rewind, or whoops, fast forward, rewind, play.
Station 8. I decided to investigate.
And we'll have more folders in here. These will be not user-controlled folders. They'll be folders that will be dictated by the types of audio files. So you'll be able to pick out audio files based on where the audio file came from, like who created it. So you'll have different folders for that. We can also go back to our document screen. So the document screen is a little different now. Not much though. Similar idea: folders, favorites, so you can save things, and being able to scroll through them if they're too large. But most of them are going to fit on the one screen. And so the biggest improvement we've made for any of our user interface features is our navigation screen. So if you played the prologue demo that we released last year, this will look very different to you from what we had before. So you can kind of ignore the colors on the actual map itself. We were doing some testing of different types of terrain gradation. So we've got some grayscale, and we've got some color scale there. We're still messing around with how exactly the map is going to look, but that colored square in the center is just the centermost part of the map. The full grayscale is the full map. But obviously for our early access release, we'll probably have a few different maps, hopefully. So this is just the one we're working with right now. But we can zoom in to the maximum zoom level, and you can see if I move around here and that zooms the data pad out so you can see where you're walking. You can see I'm walking towards an objective marker right now. And if we go in here, we can actually change those objective map markers. So we can set an objective. We can set it for a foundation base, which that's not actually accurate to where the base is at, but you get the idea. It updates all that information on the screen there. Oops, sorry about that. So then we can see it updates in our upper compass heading as well, so we can reference where we want to go with our objective. But yeah, so you can see all that here on that screen. And if we, well, still got some bugs here. It's not zooming back into the. Oh well. Well, we'll figure that out. Hey, there it goes. Okay. So then we can actually place our own custom objectives as well. So this is new. So if you're trying to navigate around the map and you want to make sure you are able to place your own waypoints, essentially, you can center the map on yourself. You can go down here, place a custom objective marker, and use the arrow keys to scroll around and set a custom one. And then that is updated on there as well. And it's reflected in your compass still. So yeah, all that stuff is in there now, and so we're really happy with the way this is working. But yeah, you can control the map as well by scrolling it around with the arrow keys here. You can lock it centered so that it'll always follow your current position. You'll never get lost on the map screen. Yeah, so I'm really happy with the changes that we've made to this. It feels a lot more dynamic now. Allows for players to set their own objectives and kind of control the flow of where they want to go in the game. And then I will show you guys one last thing that's really rough right now, but I thought it was really exciting to share. This isn't actually the Greenhouse app, but for testing we are using our crafting screen. So now the crafting screen is only going to be available at workbenches that you have inside certain habitats. So you'll approach the workbench and you'll be able to click on it to bring up your crafting options and allow you to see what you can make. So the way we're working with our crafting system is kind of unique, I think. I'm sure there's other games that have done this, but I think it works well for us. We're actually going to be using a tag system for different types of materials you can use. So there may be an item that you have in your inventory that satisfies different material tags. On the right hand side here you can see the types of material tags that are required to create this portable greenhouse equipment. So if we wanted to make this portable greenhouse, we'd have to click on that, and then it brings us over to this left-hand side where we see all the different tag types that we have. So these white icons are, you can see, like for the strong bonding agent, it requires 2 materials that satisfy that tag. So you might find different types of glue that satisfy the strong bonding agent tag. Even if they're different items, they might satisfy that same tag. Same thing for circuit board. You might find different types of circuit boards. In our case, we only have a few items in our inventory currently that satisfy these metal structural support and atmospheric stress fabric tags. So the colors here, which obviously, again, all of this is still very rough, but we need 1 metal structural support, and we can see that by the color of the box it is blue, which means we have 1 in our inventory. And same thing for the atmospheric stress fabric. You can see on the right hand side, it's kind of hard to tell, but there's a little 3 icon number on the icon from our inventory that shows up on the right hand side. So if I select metal structural support, I can go over to the right and click that one in there, and that satisfies the metal structural support. Again, all the icons and everything are kind of messed up. But then if we go to atmospheric stress fabric, I can select each of those. And now you can see we have satisfied both the metal structural support and atmospheric stress fabric tags. So those are full. But until we fill the strong bonding agent, circuit board, and plastic structural support tags slots, we cannot build our portable greenhouse. So that is kind of an overview of the basics of the crafting system. There's more things that'll come into play. You'll be required to have different tools in order to do different types of construction. I think, do I have the inventory in here? I do. Okay, so let's check this out too. So this is maybe a little bit more easier to understand how the crafting will work by looking at our inventory itself. So you can see here it breaks down what is required for each of these items in our inventory for crafting. So for a flag, is a deployable visual marker for assistance with navigation. It requires the following materials: 1 scrap fabric and 1 metal structural support. It requires certain tools as well. You need cutting tools and building tools, and we'll kind of go over more of that stuff later. But then you can see the weight. Since we have 3 of them in our inventory, it's 0.3 kilograms total, 0.1 kilogram each. And then at the very bottom of our inventory, it shows us our total inventory weight. So we can hold a total of 100 kilograms, and we're currently at 86.5. And we can even sort our inventory here. We have all items. We have equipment, materials. So materials are those items that have tags that satisfy crafting requirements. And then consumables like food, so peanuts, shortbread cookies, lentils. So yeah, we're still expanding on all this stuff right now, but we even have like sorting in here already, which I know is something that's really important for me in survival games and heavy inventory-based games. So we can sort it by alphabetical, sort it by total weight, sort it by a single weight, by quantity. So yeah, I think we really want to structure the inventory and survival elements as strongly as possible from a user interface point of view, going into our early access builds, which we still don't have any kind of release window for that just yet, but we're really working hard to get these survival mechanics in there and start testing them, so that we can push out this for you guys so you get a taste of what Lacuna Passage is going to be like. So yeah, let us know what you think. We feel really confident in the way that we're approaching the inventory and crafting stuff, and navigation, all the user interface stuff still has a lot of work to do, but we're really excited about it and hope that you guys like the direction we're taking it. So yeah, if you have questions or comments, just let us know. If there's particular things that you'd like to see in a Mars survival game that we're not thinking of right now, or that you haven't heard us talk about, let us know. What kinds of ways do you want to survive on Mars? Obviously, with the movie The Martian coming out soon, we've said in the past we've been very inspired by that book. So if you haven't read it, go check it out. The Martian, about a single survivor astronaut on Mars, and we're trying to take a lot of inspiration from that in the creativity that you can use to solve problems. So that's kind of where our material tag system came into play, because we wanted you to have the creativity and the have to make tough decisions on if a item satisfies several different material tags. Then you have that choice you have to make of, well, am I going to use this as a a support tag, or like a structural support, or am I going to use it as a rougher building material? So you could use a single item for multiple different building purposes, so you have to weigh the pros and cons of how you want to use those items. So we thought that kind of gives you that role playing of what it would be like to be Mark Watney from The Martian, having to make difficult decisions and kind of recycle items that you wouldn't normally break down unless you were in a very dire survival situation. So let us know what you think. Let us know if you have any ideas that you think we might want to use. And yeah, we will be back with another devlog in the middle of the month, around the 15th, where we'll show you some more art stuff that Spencer's been working on for the interior habitat modules and how those will be randomized between playthroughs. I believe we'll be showing off actually the workbench modules that I mentioned, where you'll be able to go to actually build and craft things. So thanks for watching, and we will talk to you guys again soon.